Hey there nation, and welcome to the show where we help you to play miniatures wargaming on a budget. It is I, Commander Cheapskate. We are back with another episode of Way of the Underhive. This series is dedicated to helping brand new players to Necromunda build their starting rosters and learn more about the game mechanics of their favorite gangs. And on this episode, we will be discussing a criminal alliance with the Cold Traders. We'll discuss their strengths and weaknesses, we'll talk about the fighters, their playstyle, and provide critical information that you can use in your campaign when making a criminal alliance with the Cold Traders. So that being said, let's get this video on a roll. Alright, so first of all, when it comes to the Cold Traders, we're going to talk about their positive impact that they have on campaign play. Now, one of the things that they have is a special rule called a Band Apart, which gives you all the benefits and none of the negatives of taking extra fighters. Another positive impact is the Bodyguards rule, which basically means that they have different fighters that help keep the leader of the criminal alliance from harm, which makes them pretty good for fighting and getting things done in your scenarios. Now, being able to bring these fighters helps to balance out numbers in a scenario. They don't take up any crew slots, plus they're bringing experienced fighters with better equipment, better stats, and at the same time does not impact the size of your crews because they take up no crew slots whenever you play a scenario. So these are some of the positive impacts on campaign play when taking the Cold Traders. Now, for the negative impacts on campaign play, the very first one is that you must be an outlaw gang in order to make an alliance with the Cold Traders. So if you're a law-abiding gang, this might be a problem for you since you might not want to lose your law-abiding status in order to make this outlaw alliance. However, if you play an outlaw gang that cannot lose its outlaw status, gangs like Corpse Grinder cults or Redemptionists, for example, this would be the gang alliance you want to make with the Cold Traders. Now, another negative impact that comes with Cold Traders and with any criminal alliance really are things like guard duty, tithes, as well as drawbacks. Guard duties usually limit the types of scenarios you can play, while tithes can cut into your resources, and drawbacks can have some serious implications for your gangs by killing fighters, losing resources, reputation, whatever the case may be. So whenever you're thinking about making a criminal alliance, or any alliance for that matter, it's always a good idea to take a look at the positive and negative impacts that alliance will have on your gang and in your campaign. Weigh out the risk, the cost risk analysis, as well as the benefits of making that alliance, and of course make your decisions accordingly. Now, when we look at the Cold Traders, I like to break it down into two types of assets. We have what I like to call tactical assets and strategic assets. Tactical assets are assets that are basically to help you out with game mechanics and actual affect individuals or combat on the battlefield. So these are things that are actually going to take place on the tabletop every single time you field a gang. Now, strategic assets, on the other hand, are game mechanics that impact a gang during the course of a campaign. This could really help you out in the pre or post battle sequences or over the course of the campaign's duration. They have different mechanics that will help you out on that one. Now, when it comes to the Cold Traders are an excellent tactical asset because the fighters it provides in its entourage on the battlefield. The shore smuggling party is one of the best entourages you can actually recruit from a criminal alliance, so that's one of the main draws of bringing this alliance. At the same time, the Cold Traders are also a really good strategic asset because it helps the host gang to purchase powerful Xenos weapons from the black market. There's actually quite a bit of powerful alien weaponry that you can purchase from the black market, and the Cold Traders make it easy for you to obtain those weapons to use in your gang. So now that we're done talking about the tactical and strategic assets of the Cold Traders, let's go ahead and talk about their benefits and drawbacks. So one of the big benefits of bringing in an alliance with the Cold Traders is the Xenos Artifacts ability, which basically gives you -2 on rarity of Xenos weapons on the black market. You also get a randomly chosen Xenos weapon for your gang so long as the alliance is together, and this Xenos weapon actually goes to your leader. So if weapons like the Hrud Fusil, for example, is a really popular choice, as is the Sling gun. The Sling gun's a really good armor-piercing rapid-fire weapon, while the Hrud Fusil is more like a shorter-range plasma rifle. So both those are usually pretty powerful choices to get for your gang leader. At the same time, you also get the Smuggler short party, which is probably the most powerful and best of the criminal entourages available to you. Their fighters are really, really good, and they really help you out as well. And those are some of the obvious benefits of taking an alliance with the Cold Traders. Now, on the opposite of that, you also have some pretty steep drawbacks. Now, for example, we talked about guard duties earlier. One of those mechanics are called press ganked, which means that when you roll your d6 to see what kind of scenarios you might play, you might end up playing escort mission or last stand. So if you don't like playing those kind of scenarios, that might be one of the drawbacks that you get if you fail the press gank special rule. At the same time, another drawback is called imperial entanglements, which basically means that one randomly chosen fighter in your gang can't participate in the next battle. And this represents the fact that your gang is under investigation from imperial forces, and so your fighter is laying low and hiding out and on the lam, so that way they don't get picked up by the Imperials. So either of these drawbacks are not that bad, all things considered, but they can test the alliance if you decide not to go through with the drawbacks. But like I said before, take a look at the risks involved, look at the rewards, see which one's more important to you. Alright, so the next thing we're going to talk about real quick is the Smuggling Short Party, which is actually the main entourage that's available to you guys when it actually comes to the alliance with the Cold Traders. In fact, this is probably like the #1 thing that people actually want to bring about when it comes to the Smuggling Short Party. So let's go and talk about their stats and as well as their equipment. So first of all, we have the Cold Trader. The Cold Trader is the leader of the entourage that you have. This fighter has a movement of 4. It's got a 4+ weapon skill, 3+ ballistic skill. This fighter also has 3 strength and toughness, 2 wounds. They have 4 initiative, 2 attacks, 7+ for leadership, 6+ for cool, 6+ for willpower, as well as 6+ for intelligence. Now when it comes to the Cold Trader, the Cold Trader actually has a really nice setup for equipment. They have armor weave armor as well as a sling gun. They also have a stiletto knife as well as a bio booster. And when it comes to their skills, they have the Overseer and the Step Aside skill. Now both of these skills are equally good and an already good list. At the same time, you also have some pretty powerful short-range, armor-piercing weaponry that the Cold Trader also brings as well. Now, aside from being a pretty good fighter, the thing you really want to use with this character for the most, though, even though he's really good at close combat and in range combat, you really want to use this character for them to spam their Overseer ability. The Overseer ability, when you use it, counts as double action, but you randomly pick you pick a fighter within this entourage within 12 inches, and that person gets a double set of activations. And when you combine this with some of the Voidborn scum that the entourage actually comes with, it could be a really powerful ability because those Voidborn scum can actually throw it down pretty well in close combat, and having them do double sets of activations is nothing but good for you on this one. So that's where it comes when it comes with the Cold Trader. So after the Cold Trader, you have the Bosun. So let's talk about this person real quick. So the Bosun has a movement characteristic of 4 inches. They have a weapon skill of 5+, a ballistic skill of 4+. They have 2 strength. They have 3 toughness, 1 wound. They have 4 initiative, 1 attack. They have a leadership of 8, a cool of 7, a willpower of 6, as well as an intelligence of 6 as well. Now, when it comes to the equipment, the Bosun comes with a shotgun with scatter and a solid slug. They have mesh armor as well as a fighting knife, and they also have the dodge skill. Now, the Bosun's not a very good character, just straight to the point. But that's not the point of this character. You don't want to use the Bosun to run around and shooting people. That's not what they're really used for. The Bosun's good for one thing only, and that's being a bodyguard for the Cold Trader. If your Cold Trader gets taken out of action, you could actually prematurely end your alliance with the Cold Traders. So because of that, you want to keep the Bosun right next to the Cold Trader, so that way if anybody tries to shoot at the Cold Trader, they got to take out the Bosun first. And that's exactly what you want to use with this guy as well. Plus him having the shotgun makes him a really good defensive fighter because it's a short-range weapon. So you want to pair these guys together so that way your enemies have to shoot or fight the Bosun first and not the Cold Trader, and that's the only reason why you want to keep this character around. Treat him like a human shield, and he's expendable just like one. Now lastly, you have the Voidborn Scum. You get 2 of these guys when it comes to the shore smuggling party, and this is one of the reasons why you want to make this alliance because of these fighters. So let's talk about their stats real quick. So when it comes to their movement allowance, they have a 4-inch movement allowance. They have 3+ weapon skill, 4+ ballistic skill. They have 5 strength, 5 toughness, 3 wounds. Let me say that again. 5 strength, 5 toughness, 3 wounds. They have 4+ for initiative, 2 attacks, 8+ for leadership, 7+ for cool, 7+ for willpower, and 7+ for intelligence. At the same time, you can either equip them with a Laspistol and a fighting knife with flak armor, or an Autopistol with a fighting knife and flak armor. Now, their gear may not be that great, alright? It's just a Laspistol or Autopistol with a fighting knife and flak armor, but their stats are amazing. With strength 5, toughness 5, who cares what kind of weapons they're carrying? Because if they didn't carry any weapons, they could easily just beat your opponent to death is what they could do. Now when it comes to your Voidborn Scum are really good to use as human shields to protect your more important fighters in your gang. So use the Voidborn Scum to protect your fighters, your champions, your leaders, any gangers that you're fond of, that sort of thing, okay? Because if the Voidborn Scum die, who cares? You could always easily replace them because they're always easily replaceable with the Alliance system. At the same time, these guys are not slouches at close combat either, so using that Cold Trader's Overseer ability on one of these guys, you could do double sets of activations. You could really put the hurt on when it comes to close combat. So do not hesitate to use these guys. The Voidborn Scum are the reason why you're taking this alliance in the first place, so have at it. Alright, so let's go ahead and give our conclusion on this one. So in conclusion, this is without a doubt the best Criminal Alliance that's available to players in the campaign system. You have really good fighters who have really excellent skills, and as well as gear. They have excellent benefits with very little drawback. Seriously, you should be allying yourself with the Cold Traders. Why haven't you done it yet? Stop wasting time. Do it now before your enemies actually end up doing it. And actually, that might not be the case. It kind of depends how your arbitrator wants to run guild alliances in your game. For example, in my campaign setting, I only let one gang have an alliance with any one of the criminal guild or noble house alliances at any time. And that's to represent the fact that alliances should be kind of rare to get to. So because I don't let gangs double up on alliances. So for example, there's not two gangs running around who are both allied with the cold traders. It's only one gang. That's how they compete for those alliances. So if your arbitrator is just like me, seriously, ally yourselves with them now. I'm not sure why you haven't done so yet. So there you guys have it. That is our overall viewpoint on the cold traders. As always, please feel free to like, comment, and or subscribe. Your guys' input is valuable to us as always. Also check us out on Facebook, Instagram, as well as blogger.com for all the latest greatest hobby news related to this channel. That's good for this one, you guys. We'll catch you guys next one. Peace out and stay classy.